What's happening, traders? I hope you are good. Let's dive into today's video. Now, just for the sake of not butchering somebody's name, I'm going to call this gentleman MJ. And he asks, how should one deal with nested and stacked zones for event one? So I dived into the Euro USD and I found this market entering a daily area of supply on the 27th of March. So let's just go down to another time frame and let's just go to the H4. So let's wrap some lines around this H4 zone right here. Perfect. And let's dive into it because inside here there is a nested H1 level. Okay. Now this all depends on what sort of time frames that you're actually using your time frame sequencing. Okay. For H4 zones, I use a 15-minute, and for H1 zone, I use a 5-minute, right? So as the market enters here right now, it's now entered the H1 zone that is nested in the H4 supply area. Okay, so there's two things that you can do. Number one, you can ignore it altogether, okay, and just wait for a 15-minute event break, or you can dive into the H1 zone and play it off the 5-minute. All right, so let's just continue here. Okay, got a little bit of friction there. Perfect. So we've got our event break area here. It's not the best, but it's workable. And now we've got a nice break. So the trigger for this event break is up here, okay? This is the birth of the zone that broke this event break. So what we want to do is we want to wrap our lines around it because this is now going to be our area to short from the H1 time frame that's nested inside the H4 area of supply, okay? So let's see what happens here. The market then goes into that nicely and bounces back out. Now, this is the thing. We have to be aware that the 15-minute event break from the H4 supply zone is still in play. Yes, the 5-minute zone has gone to plan in terms from the H1 area of supply, but we still have to be aware of the 15-minute event break because that could hold up price. All right. So yes, now we've got this. This is beautiful. We can keep our stops behind there. We're not risking that much at all. So now we have to go down to the 15-minute chart. And we can see to the left here, we have an event break area that is currently been holding up price that actually pushed the market back into that 5-minute area of supply, right? So let's wrap some lines around this now, because this is going to be our 15-minute event break area. And if this doesn't break, then more than likely, it will come back and push through, probably go deeper into the H4 zone. Then you'll have to maybe play another 15-minute event break if it breaks above this H1 area of supply. Something to think about, all right? So now we're stuck here. We know we're out of that 5-minute zone. We've got the 5-minute event break. Now we need to break this 15-minute event break area. Okay, so now that's broken. All right, so now that's broken. If you wanted to, okay, which personally, this is exactly what I would do because I always want to get my positions in the best price. I would now take another short position using this zone that broke that 15-minute event break. So now we're playing the H1 nested zone from a 5-minute area of supply which broke that 5-minute event break area, and now we're going to play the 15-minute event break from a 15-minute trigger event, okay, which has just occurred, which is now still in play because this 15-minute event break has just been broken. All right, and we get some good touches, and now we get a move out. All right, and you know, this is how I would play nested zones because they are very, very powerful if you get them in the right position. We already know that the market's just moved out of a daily area of supply. All right. So we know already that the market's moving to the short side. Now we have a 4-hour zone and we've got an H1 nested zone inside that. So we could potentially take 2 positions from the H1 area of supply and the H4 area of supply, but you've got to be aware of that initial event break on the H4 or whatever time frame sequence that you're using. I'll see you in the next video, guys.
A true shinobi does not set out to seek glory. They protect from the shadows. That is the mark of a true ninja.